Hello and welcome back, this is Insti and I'm continuing playing Gabriel Knight II, The Beast Within. Last episode, Gabriel Knight managed to infiltrate the lair of the werewolf, the hunting lodge, and meet some interesting characters. And apparently has to go hunt on the next day. And Grace had a very worrisome nightmare, which included Baron von Lova. Anyways, what am I actually going to do now? Oh, right. Gabriel sent a packet to us, so either it's in the castle or I need to go to the post office. But let's see if the Gerde is somewhere around, and hopefully we are not as hostile as we were. Well, she's not here.
I wonder what Gerda's up to.
That is a good question. I don't know. Hopefully we will find her somewhere. Oh. There's some oddities with the music. Sometimes very loud, sometimes quiet. Now it's back to quiet. So, down we go. Hopefully we do have a package. And apparently Gabriel is going to send us far away from Munich.
Guten Tag.
Grüß Gott, Frau Nakimura. Ich habe etwas für Sie.
Okay.
Oh, it's from Gabriel.
Ja, das ist vom Schattenjäger. Ja.
No, I think you... Gabriel is a working partner and... Never mind. Danke.
Bitte, brauchen Sie noch etwas?
Okay. So we have a letter. Let's see.
Gracie, you decided to come over. That's great. Guten Tag and all that. I'm sure you and Gertie are hitting it off. Thanks for finding the werewolf book. I'm not sure what it all means, but it might be useful. But Ludwig II, you know, I think you might have something there. Ubergrau says there are 2 places you should check out. Ludwig had a castle called New Swan something, and there's a museum about him here in chemistry. Something like that. I really think you should spend some time looking into it. Don't worry. Things are going very smoothly this time around. I've tracked a suspect to a hunt club run by a man named Von Glauer. He seems okay, but I'm sure there's something going on with at least one of the others. Don't worry, though. I met a police detective named Lieber, so I have backup. I'll be finished soon. Sit tight and enjoy your visit till I get there. Gabriel.
What does he think? I'm on vacation here? And no address. Thank you very much, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, I'll be finished soon. Yeah, you probably, I think you meant Neuschwanstein or something like that. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce it too badly. And the other one, I can't remember.
Danke.
Bitte.
I could go and see what Huber has to say, if anything new, maybe. Oh, right, teas. Let's talk to them.
Hello there, dear.
Hi, I'm Grace Nakimura from the castle. Am I interrupting?
Heavens, no.
Have a seat, Miss Nakamura.
Well, I might. For a moment.
Isn't this nice? We just finished our breakfast. Do you want something?
No, thanks.
Good for you. I can never turn down food myself. Now you just tell us all about it, Sugar Pie.
I don't know what to think, but let's continue.
You mentioned the other night that you were a demonologist. What is that exactly?
Well, it's not as bad as it sounds, honey. What Emma and I really do is to help protect people.
Protect them from what?
Well, do you believe in the devil, Miss Nakimura?
I believe in good and evil, if that helps.
Oh, but Satan and his demons are real, and they will attack the living. And most folks don't know what to do once they've been attacked. We try to help protect people.
How can you protect people from demons?
The best protection is faith in God, of course. But sometimes faith isn't enough. Sometimes we have to delve into the supernatural in order to protect others. Your Schattenjägers are just the same.
We are? I mean, he is?
Of course! The warriors of light are rare these days, but they do exist all around the globe.
That's interesting. I just read about a group called Manos del Sol in Brazil. So the Ritters aren't the only Shattenjägers.
Well, they're probably the only ones to use that title, but others have been chosen for the battle.
For every generation there is a slayer. So is Buffy also in this universe? That would be interesting. Ludwig II.
Do you know anything about King Ludwig II?
Sure, we saw his castles, didn't we, Mother?
We sure did. Why do you ask?
Well, I found a letter in the Shattenjäger library warning Ludwig about the Black Wolf.
Who wrote the letter?
One of Gabriel's ancestors, a Shattenjäger.
Seems like whoever was using me as a megaphone helped you find that letter. Perhaps you should follow the path something's pointing at. Look into Ludwig.
I intend to.
Yeah, great advice. Thanks for that. And about the Black Wolf.
The other night you said something about the Black Wolf. What did you mean? Where did you hear that name?
I wasn't the one talking.
I don't understand.
Well, that's quite all right. The point is, it would be a very good idea to answer those questions, and we must work together to do so. Of course I'll help you, Pumpkin. I'd like to know myself, wouldn't I? It isn't every day one's taken over by a disembodied spirit, and I don't much care for it, thank you.
You're not talking about a seance, are you?
Oh, heavens no.
Thank God.
Emma's right. I'm much better at tarot cards. I can read for you or for someone else if you prefer.
So no seance, but tarot reading. Maybe. Well, let's continue with the Black Wolf. Again, there was that odd change in the recording. I have, like I said, I played this, I think, 2 times. First time when I was borrowing original CDs from my friend. I can't remember how the sound was then. And obviously the second time when I had bought this from GOG. And, well, can't remember if the sounds were similar to that time. Probably they were, so yeah, unfortunately there's probably nothing I can do. But anyways, the Black Wolf.
Are you sure you don't know anything about the Black Wolf?
I never did, dear. I told you. Really, you mustn't confuse the vessel with the voice. All I remember was seeing a very bright flash like lightning. Next thing I knew, Emma had me outside. Whatever it was very powerful. Very powerful.
Okay, what about the reading?
Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to do my tarot reading.
Don't you worry now. I know what I'm doing.
This should be interesting.
Push your vital energies into the cards. This is your soul card. That which applies to all of your lifetimes. It's the Empress. Oh, that's a good one.
What's it mean?
It means that your soul's journey is one of leadership. There's great strength here and intelligence. This card represents what you're like in this lifetime. It's the Chariot. Self-discipline, control. You need to feel you have a plan, that you're testing your abilities. The chariot's very masculine. In combination with the Empress, it tells me that you're currently exploring your male side. You will seek out great achievement, but it does have its price.
Doesn't sound anything like me.
Yes, dear. The third card represents the other. You've pulled the Magician. Who is he, dear?
Excuse me?
Your other, the Magician. Oh, this is a very powerful card. Major Arcana.
My other?
Everyone has an other. Let's see. I bet it's the Shattenjäger. What's his name?
The Schattenjäger? Gabriel Knight.
A name of power. He is powerful, this one. The Magician is dexterous and cunning, mischievous and manipulate.
That's Gabriel, all right.
And very strong with magical and occult powers. Now this is interesting because your card, the Chariot, is all logic and reasoning, while his, the Magician, is spiritual and intuitive. You two are quite a pair. The fourth card shows what you're trying to achieve at this moment, your immediate destiny. It's the Strength or Lust card.
Lust?
Not that kind of lust, dear. It's a trial card, finding the strength to continue some difficult journey. It also represents the integration of conflicting energies. That must be your Chariot and his Magician energies. Strength also means bonding those energies, loving without judgment, learning to love the beast.
Uh-huh.
What is this trial, dear? Do you know?
Well, Gabriel and I are involved with a case right now.
It will be a hard time. You must let your love give you power. Use the positive energy of your union or you may not succeed.
I think you have the wrong idea. Gabriel and I just work together.
Yes, dear. But if I might just suggest, when you're facing negative forces, the positive energy of love is a very vital weapon. You make yourself vulnerable when you resist your own tools.
Well, that's been helpful.
I hope so, dear.
Well, probably not the reading Grace was wanted to hear. Anyways, what about Gabriel's tarot?
Maybe we should do a reading for Gabriel.
Oh, let's! It's a little like spying on someone unawares, but what the heck?
Oh, this is so weird.
Reach out to the cards and to think about his essence. His soul card is the Magician. Yes, dear, it reflects your other exactly.
Well, maybe, but I'd rather hold out for David Copperfield.
And his lifetime card, oh goodness, the Lovers.
You mean the sole purpose of his life is in his pants? Doesn't surprise me.
It's not what you think, dear. It's a duality card. As a lifetime card, it refers to Gabriel's own duality. Good versus evil, physical pleasure versus spiritual growth, that kind of thing. His challenge is to integrate the conflicting parts of himself. Until he does, he'll never find peace. And you will find peace when you acknowledge all of him. Find a way to love the worst as you already love the best.
You're really reaching.
Mother.
His other is the High Priestess.
Let me guess. That's me, right?
No, dear, it's not. The High Priestess represents psychic mysteries, deep wisdom. This is a very different energy from your earthy one. This must be our connection. To the voice, dear! Someone is trying to communicate with Gabriel. This force is represented by the High Priestess.
That's not much help. What about the Black Wolf?
But it is a help, dear. The High Priestess is a spiritual guide card if ever there was one. The message must have been a warning.
If this force is connected to Gabriel, and if he's so very psychic, then why doesn't it just go to him? Why say it to me?
Maybe Gabriel's blocked. Maybe he's purposefully blocking. There is that duality business. Let's go on and see if it becomes clear. The fourth card, remember, represents the current situation. It's death.
Oh. Nothing to worry about then.
Now you just leave interpretation up to me, Sugar Pie. It's a transformation card, dying to one thing and being born to another. It is painful, but it isn't necessarily bad. Two of Wands. Oh my.
What?
A 2 is not good here. Wands is Mars in Aries. That's a war card. In conjunction with the death card, there are 2 possible transformations.
2 transformations?
Yes, dear. Gabriel is waging a spiritual battle. The transformation might be good or evil. That must be the purpose of the High Priestess. She's trying to guide him.
So you think he really might be in danger?
Oh, yes, dear. Gabriel's very essence is at stake. If he takes the wrong path with his powers, Emma and I will stay in town. You must let me know if anything else happens that we can read for clues. Let the Force use you.
I'd better go.
Anytime you need us, stop by.
And be careful now.
Thanks.
Well, that reading took a turn to dark. Dark turn? I mean, so... yeah. Definitely a change towards... well, Gabriel is waiting for a change. Let's see how it goes. Anyways, Huber... do you want to tell me something?
Herr Huber?
Yes?
Ah, Gabriel's case, yes.
I was wondering if you've changed your mind about telling me where Gabriel is. It's really important.
No. Sorry.
Thanks.
Bitte?
Well, he's all reliable. So what do we do now? Do I want to talk with him? Name escapes for the moment.
Guess they're closed.
Okay, so we're not going there. Do I want to go and see this area? Nothing, probably. We could go and check the church just to be certain that nothing has changed. And then we probably have to go and find Goethe. I don't think we can talk.
I don't want to disturb her.
Yeah, that's true. Anything behind here? Oh. Oh, Goethe. Oh, right, obviously.
Gerda's here. I wonder what she's up to. Gerda was in love with Wolfgang.
Bingo. Can I talk to her?
Boy, do I feel stupid or what?
Okay, you can redeem yourself. What do we need to do? What is this? Why?
I wonder what kind of flowers these are.
Yeah, I'm wondering same. Um. Okay. Let's go upstairs and see if there's anything there. Do I still have the key? No. But I think I can still enter the passageways. Do I need any books?
I wish I could read these biographies of Ludwig. Wait a minute. Ludwig II, fairy tale king of Bavaria. I didn't see this before.
Okay.
English. Huh.
Now you have something to read. Anything else?
There's nothing else on werewolves in the occult section. There's no...
Okay.
I'm not sure what other case books would be relevant.
Anything else?
Nothing else I can use in the biography section.
Right. Let's read the book. Fairy Tale King of Bavaria, Sir Richmond Chapel. Okay.
Ludwig remained throughout his life both very bright and very naive. He was an introvert who seemed to be constantly out of sync with traditional views of rulership, money, and human relationships. The world ever failed to match his ideals. Perhaps this was a fault of his sheltered upbringing as future king. He never was introduced to the real world, and the real world failed to interest him as an adult.
In his youth, Ludwig was in fine physical condition and loved to hike alone in the Alps and ride horses. He had a hunting lodge, Schatten, specifically for this purpose. Unfortunately, in 1872, a rather traumatic hunting accident befell the king at Schatten, and his leg was cruelly damaged. He never fully recovered from this incident, and his hiking and riding ceased. His physical health deteriorated from that time on, and explains why he looked so unhealthy in later years. In his youth, Ludwig was in fine physical condition and loved to hike alone in the Alps and ride horses. He had a hunting lodge, Schatten, specifically for this purpose. Unfortunately, in 1872, a rather traumatic hunting accident befell the king at Schatten, and his leg was cruelly damaged. He never fully recovered from this incident, and his hiking and riding ceased. His physical health deteriorated from that time on, and explains why he looked so unhealthy in later years.
A hunting accident?
Okay. Yeah, that's annoying when I thought that we could turn the page, and obviously she commented, so my bad, I should wait a little while. Let's continue.
Other than his long-standing friendship with the Empress Elizabeth of Austria and with his mother, the relationships Ludwig attempted with others were nearly always a disappointment for him and a bewilderment for his partners. He would become obsessed with someone, a singer, an artist, a nobleman or a peasant, and would bombard them with gifts, praise, and favors. When they would fail to return the depths of rapturous passion he required, the singular adoration and humble obedience he expected, he would grow disappointed and cut himself off from them. The objects of his interest were occasionally women, usually ones he fell in love with after seeing them in idealized roles on the stage, but they were more often young men who fit his fantasies of the heroic sagas like Lohengrin and Parsifal that he so loved. A good example of the king's obsessive behavior in relationships is the following letter from the Königlich Bayerische archives, which this author was privileged to access. It is dated 1864, and it was written by Ludwig's manservant, Paul, to a friend. The king has been in high mood these days. The reason, of course, is a new interest. Thursday last, the king attended a performance of Lohengrin in the Wittelsbacher Theater. He came back in a fever, demanding that a man be found. The man, it was gathered, had been sitting in a box across from Ludwig and had drawn the king's attention by his beauty and his deep emotional response to the performance. The king declared that here at last is a sensitive soul. The man was tracked down and brought in for an audience. Upon my word, never have I seen any mind so in line with His Majesty's own. They discussed Wagner and France and Byron and all manner of things until long past dawn. The young man, beautiful indeed to look upon, met the king's enthusiasm and knowledge bit for bit. His Majesty has been in the thick of it ever since, and while I welcome his good temper, I grow tired of fetching letters back and forth to Louis, so called by His Majesty, that should tell you who the young man looks like, at all hours of the night. This author has not been able to learn much about Louis, but he was known to have been a seemingly high-bred foreigner, and he was involved with Ludwig as late as 1880, when he fell into disfavor. The king, especially later in life, felt a great deal of guilt about his sensual nature. His diaries are full of repentant entries begging God for forgiveness and swearing to remain pure. In many of the diary entries, he swears to abstain from sexual relations. The number of these oath entries indicate that Ludwig was not very successful in resisting temptation, yet it is also clear that Ludwig was a God-fearing man and that, though his flesh might occasionally fall, he never surrendered his heart and his conscience to sin.
Okay, and we are done with Ludwig. So,
there's nothing else I can use in the biography section. I'm not sure what other case books would be relevant.
And these are not something I can interact with. I'll see if I can go to Gerda's room and find something there. Do we need to use this? Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, it works. Good. Oh.
I don't think I need that.
Oh, the toolbox.
I don't think I need...
Toolbox is still here. Okay. So.
Nice closet.
Oh, did I...
Nice.
Did I close the hidden door? I think I did. Is that something?
Nice view.
Okay, that's nothing. Okay, let's try again. Okay, hopefully it's now open. So I might have closed it. Yeah, I closed it, unfortunately. So we can't go here.
I don't want to go back into Gerda's bedroom. She might catch me in there.
Well, I don't think she will, because she's not here, but... Okay, anything we can do here? Ominous music playing again. Although there shouldn't be anything ominous in here. At least I hope. I'm still a little miffed. What am I doing here? And that part... Okay. I can't control. Why did you... You were checking these roses. Why? Okay. So roses it is. Anything else?
I'll leave the other roses on the bush.
Okay, can I go there?
The castle looks huge from here. They've got more rooms left to restore than I thought.
There's nothing new here. What can I see about these?
They're beautiful, but they won't last long in my coat.
The only thing I can think of is, do I go to the church and keep them together? Because there aren't really many places I can go. And there are not many people to interact with. Unless Gerda is here already. Well, we will see. No, she's not here. Okay, so let's just leave. Yeah, I'm going a little bit faster at these parts. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we go and give the roses to Gerda or put it on the grave as a token of gesture of goodwill. Maybe. I don't know. Does it work? I think it works.
There. That's better, don't you think? I'm so sorry. I was an idiot.
Gabriel and I, we never...
I know. It's my fault. It's Gabriel's fault. He never tells me anything. I don't know why he didn't want me on this case.
Maybe he just...
Don't even try to make excuses for him. Still, he's up to his neck in it, I think. Will you help me out with something?
Of course.
I have to do some research on Ludwig. I want to go see some of his castles.
Take Gabriel's car. There's a map of southern Bavaria in the car. Ludwig's castles are all marked.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Well, at least she apologized. So now I think comes the bit where we go quite a lot of through castles and whatnot. Before that, obviously I'm gonna make a save just to be sure. And I go get something to drink before we continue. Oh. So I'll be right back. So, time to go sightseeing with our new car. Bit echoey there. Quite echoey. Okay. Neuschwanstein. Ah, this is Rittersberg and Herrenchiemsee, if I pronounce it at least quite correctly. I'm tempted to start there because it's such a nice name. Is there anything else or where I could go? No. So let's start with Herrenchiemsee and see what we can find from there. And then we go probably Neuschwanstein. Here we are. Oh, hello.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
I don't know. As I think I read it somewhere that obviously the budget was quite tight on this game, and if I remember correctly, basically they at least recorded those in-game videos in max of 2 takes. So yeah, that kind of explains why the things are what they are. But anyways, I'd like to buy a ticket.
Ich hätte gern eine Eintrittskarte fürs Museum.
Ja, 8 Mark für eine Ganztagskarte. So.
Danke.
Bitte.
That hostility. Anything else, maybe?
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Well, let's ask about the Ludwig Museum.
Ist das die Ludwig Museum?
Ja, ja. Ludwig der Zweite von Bayern.
Danke. So we probably have quite a lot of reading. Well, fortunately, probably Grace doing the reading. So yeah, let's start because I try to go through everything. So we have 4 panels.
July 3rd, 1863. Elizabeth, you can have no idea, dear cousin, how happy you made me. The hours recently passed with you in the railway carriage I consider among the happiest in my life. Never will their memory fade. You gave me permission to visit you at Ischl. If the time comes for this ardent hope to be fulfilled, I shall be of all men upon earth the most blessed.
The feelings of sincere love and reverence and faithful attachment to you, which I cherished in my heart even as a boy, makes me imagine heaven upon earth and will be extinguished by death alone. I beg you with all my heart to forgive the contents of this letter, but I could not help myself. Ludwig.
Okay. Second letter. Elizabeth frequently gave Ludwig advice on royal conduct, hoping to protect him from unfavorable public opinion.
Elizabeth frequently gave Ludwig advice on royal conduct, hoping to protect him from unfavorable public opinion. March 1st, 1865. My dearest Eagle, You have not written me in a few months. I have missed you. I often try to imagine what you are doing. I hear tales that you have been on retreat and have not been seen in Munich for some time. I suspect it is this new friend you wrote up so mysteriously that takes you away from home. I hope you are enjoying yourself, my beloved, but I beg you to caution. The people need to see you at the throne. I also hesitate to suggest that what your officials do in your absence may not always be in your own best interest. You have always been a true king, but you must let the people see you to ensure that they don't forget that. E. Your dove.
A mysterious friend? Maybe the Black Wolf.
Ludwig's friends were concerned for his mental state long before his arrest. June 14th, 1878. My beloved Eagle, in your last letter you spoke so movingly of your torment that I was moved to tears. What is this torment? Why won't you confess to me what is truly troubling you? You must know that I would never despise you, no matter how horrible you believe your sins to be. Please do not write such barbs to my heart by even suggesting such things. If you do not wish to confess to me, at least tell me how I can aid you. I am always your true one, your dove.
Torment, you say? What kind of a torment?
Ludwig's friends were concerned for his mental state.
Oh, sorry, wrong letter. We already read that.
In this letter, dated November 1886, Elizabeth of Austria thanks Bishop Frank for his assistance in helping her fulfill Ludwig's last wishes. She writes that she knows it was an unusual request, but she believes Ludwig had reasons of his own for wishing it to be done. She hopes that his spirit finds peace at last.
No further reference to this letter has ever been found. One can only speculate what the last wishes of a cornered and embattled Ludwig might have been.
What were his last wishes? This place is giving me more questions than answers.
Most definitely, yes. So, anything... Not... Can we check this? We can check it from here.
She's beautiful.
She kinda is, yes.
Elizabeth of Austria.
One of Ludwig's few close friends was Empress Elizabeth of Austria. She was a distant cousin of the boy Prince, and he saw her often growing up. Graceful and beautiful, Elizabeth seemed to represent the feminine ideal to the younger Ludwig. Their friendship continued after her marriage, mainly by correspondence. She remained a source of stability for Ludwig throughout his life. In keeping with Ludwig's love of romance and drama, he called her the Dove, and he to her was the Eagle.
Cute. So, right. We can go to there and... but not there. But there's also this painting. I think that is Ludwig.
Ludwig is Prince Charming. He played the part well.
Okay. Anything else?
Ludwig is Prince Charming.
Okay, nothing else. So let's go here. Oh, okay. That was a bit off. The last days.
June 7th, 1886. A group of men arrive at Neuschwanstein Castle demanding to take the king in custody. With them is Dr. Guden, the doctor who had been in charge of Otto, the king's mentally ill brother. The men have an order for the king's arrest on the grounds of insanity. They are refused admittance by a brave group of farmers and local soldiers who have come to Ludwig's aid. They are forced to retreat to nearby Hohenschwangau. This is the first Ludwig hears of the conspiracy.
Ludwig composes a pamphlet explaining the subversive acts of the conspirators and eloquently pleading with his people for aid. The pamphlet is smuggled out of Neuschwanstein and printed, but the pamphlets are seized before they can be distributed.
Right.
June 12, 1886. Ludwig knows the conspirators will return. He despairs. He asks his servant for the keys to the tower. The servant, fearing the king intends suicide, says the key is lost. Unbeknownst to Ludwig, the conspirators arrive at the castle. This time, there is no one to stop them. Ludwig is lured from his bedroom to the entry hall of Neuschwanstein on pretense. There, he is taken into custody. Ludwig is taken by carriage from Neuschwanstein to Berg, where his brother Otto had long been imprisoned. This is a great blow to the king's state of mind. While on the way, the group stops at Sieshaupt to change horses. Ludwig asks to see the postmistress, Frau Vogel. She brings him a glass of water and he says something to her. She never reveals these last words to anyone.
Again, too many last words. Never spoken after that. If you noticed, Grace pronounces Neuschwanstein bit differently, and I think the actor for Gabriel Knight said that he recorded his, I guess, voiceovers about the text and whatnot in a day. I might be mistaken, but that would explain that. Let's say that Grace's actor also did this voiceover in a day, so there's definitely mistakes in there, and that could explain the difference even in the same text. There are little differences of the quality of the recording. Wait a minute, oh, that's probably German and this is English. Okay, Dr. Gooden was the other one who died with Ludwig II. I think, if I remember correctly, there were some marks of beating or strangulation or something like that.
June 13th, 1886.
It reads in here.
At Berg, Ludwig seems cooperative and coherent. Dr. Gooden writes to the government that he has Ludwig well under control. The two men go out for a walk, and Dr. Gooden is so confident he dismisses the guards.
When Ludwig and the doctor do not return after several hours, a search is undertaken. The bodies of the two men are found in the lake, drowned. Circumstances unknown.
Hazy at best. Yeah, I didn't. I should have read the text, but yeah. It basically says it in here. And the last one, probably.
June 18th, 1886. Ludwig's funeral procession marches through the streets of Munich, followed by enormous crowds of mourners. The service is held at a packed St. Michael's church. Lightning strikes the church during the service, but no one is harmed.
Ludwig's body is entombed in the Wittelsbach crypt at St. Michael's. His heart is placed in an urn in the pilgrimage chapel at Altading in the Wittelsbach tradition. The urn is shown to the right. His heart is in an urn. How bizarre.
A little bit, but to be honest, not that much. I think that is not that unheard of. Anyways, so we have checked these. Then we have, what is this?
I have no idea what that says. Looks old, though.
Life and Death, King Ludwig II. Can't make anything out of this.
I have no.
Okay. Lovely painting.
Oh my god. That's the slave from my dream.
That is true.
Maybe Mrs. Smith will know what my dream meant. I have to ask someone. This thing is getting too weird.
Oh, we need anything we have here.
The midnight sleigh rides. Ludwig went on long sleigh rides in the middle of the night, particularly in his later years. It is said that he suffered from insomnia, headaches, and toothaches, and the rides soothed his restlessness. The sight of the king's grand sleigh speeding through the countryside of the Alps often startled the peasants and became a superstitious omen of ill fortune. I can see why. But what was he doing out there at night?
That is a good question. So, goose question, good question. And so, was it actually Ludwig we saw in the dream? Well, yeah. Now that I think of it, that makes more sense because Grace haven't seen Clover. So Ludwig would make more sense in that regard.
Ludwig embarking on his sleigh.
Okay. Anything? Is this different? Oh, it is. Okay. So what do we have here?
December 14th, 1881, Linderhof. Order another work by Jennings on the occult. Write urgently to Klug saying that I insist that the stoppages by the bank cease. I want it, and therefore it must be done. Write very urgently. He must succeed at once and then must report to me urgently. If I give orders to clear my room, doing so must not be postponed as it happened. Pencils must be pointed without special orders. The day after tomorrow, 1,000 marks. How is Louis now? I want to know whether he looks unhappy. How often have I said that the coffee must not come up boiling hot, so that it can only be drunk after standing an hour? If any more correspondence come from Louis, they are to be burnt immediately, but I am to be informed of their arrival.
Okay.
These are actual notes from Ludwig to his servants. They go far in showing the king's state of mind. They were smuggled out and used as evidence in compiling the order for Ludwig's arrest.
Well, he just didn't want to have scalding hot coffee.
December 18th, 1881, Linderhof. Every day get up earlier for certain. See to that very particularly. Write it down. Remember that when the great friend arrives at Neuschwanstein, we retire to the hall. We are not to be disturbed. I will not tolerate interference or insubordination.
Okay. So that's it then.
Grace Nakimura.
Yes. Anything we... Is that something... Oh! Yes.
Ludwig's death mask. Wow.
Indeed. Wow. But is there something down here? It seemed like a hand. So I think I've checked everything from here. Okay. Oh, there's on the left side. There's a left side. Let's start from here.
Richard Wagner.
Wagner. Oh, okay. I think Ludwig liked him.
Ludwig's diary. Ludwig kept a diary from 1869 when he was 24 years old until his death. The diary provides a fascinating look into the mind of this tormented man.
The original diary is kept in the Royal Archives. A few entries are shown on the opposite wall.
I've got to see that diary.
Steady on. We are going to the museum. Can we check? Nice.
Ludwig's Grand Master Wardrobe from the Knights of St. George.
Knights of St. George.
Looks like it weighs a ton.
It probably does. And good quality.
Ludwig is Grand Master of the Knights of St. George. The Knights of St. George was an aristocratic society dedicated to the acts of chivalry. Ludwig loved the medieval pageantry of the order in his early years, before his increasing reclusiveness drove him to abandon public appearances.
He looks so regal. Why would he give up all of this pageantry and become a recluse?
King who looks regal.
Ludwig, Grand Master of the Knights of St. George. There's gotta be a connection between all this St. George stuff and Gabriel.
I think there will be. And of course this is a painting, that is not a picture, so of course he definitely shows more regal than he probably was. Well, what I'm trying to say that Grace says, oh, he looks so regal. Of course, the painting definitely, even if obviously he's was seen as a regal, but obviously the painting will elevate that fact. And medals.
I wonder if these pins have any symbolic meaning.
Signets and sash pins from the Order of the Knights of St. George. These were worn on Ludwig's uniform, as befitted his rank of Grand Master. They are now the property of the Bavarian Crown Treasury.
I wonder if these pins have any symbolic meaning.
Some of them probably, yes.
Ludwig and Wagner. Ludwig loved the opera of his contemporary Richard Wagner. He helped support Wagner's music through much of his life. Ludwig considered Wagner a close friend, often calling him the great friend. Wagner encouraged this infatuation, some believe, for personal gain. Typical artist.
Well, you need to eat. So, yeah, that again makes quite a lot of sense. So, yeah, my thought process was got there earlier that, yeah, I was going to say that Ludwig loved Wagner's operas, but yeah. Tagebuch. So, let's see what he wrote in his diary.
Even after Wagner's death, Ludwig still showed signs of obsession with the composer. This letter, written in 1882 by Ludwig to the conductor of the Munich Opera, instructs the conductor to make preparations for a new Wagner opera. The conductor went to see the king as instructed. When he arrived, Ludwig was ill and refused to see him. Nothing further was ever heard of this mysterious new opera. Was it a figment of an ill man's desperate wishes?
Okay.
Ludwig is offered a crown of laurels by the genius of immortal fame. Ludwig.
Oh. So now we are actually checking the diary.
26 July 1874. By the power of the lily, we shall have the strength to resist all temptations throughout the whole year.
Power of the lily? Would that hint towards the flower next to the church? Maybe, don't know. Let's check the other page.
26 July 1875. Solemn oath before the picture of the great king. Refrain for 3 months from all excitement. This oath has its binding power as well as its potency by de par le Roy, LNR, DPLR.
What excitement. I need to see more of that diary.
Probably easier said than done. I guess I've been everywhere, so do we need to talk to her? We probably do.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
So, about a diary. Let's start with the new Wagner opera.
Im Museum ist einen Brief von Ludwig über eine neue Wagner-Oper.
Ja, ja, ich kenne diesen Brief.
Wo kann ich mehr von dieser Wagner-Oper sehen?
Ja, ich weiß nichts über Wagner. Das hier ist kein Wagner-Museum.
Ja, ich weiß.
In Bayreuth befindet sich ein Wagner-Museum. Versuchen Sie es halt doch, ne?
Bayreuth. Danke.
So, Wagner Museum it is later, but about the diary.
Ludwig's Tagebuch. Im Museum?
Ja.
Wo kann ich Ludwigs Tagebuch hier anschauen?
Die Tagebücher sind ganz persönlich. Die sind in den königlichen Archiven. Niemand darf die lesen. Aber nein, niemand darf die lesen.
Danke.
So, I guess we are not reading the diary. Okay. So there's the Wagner Museum. I'm thinking I'll go to the Wagner Museum. Then we go back to Ritterberg and see the tarot card reader and then Neuschwanstein. That sounds like a plan. Yeah, I will continue. It's not that. Okay. Anyways, back to the Wagner Museum. Hopefully there are more helpful people.
Grüß Gott.
Guten Tag. Ist das die Wagner Museum?
Ja, you're an American, aren't you? I'm afraid the house is closed this time of year. It will be open next month.
Crap.
You are interested in Wagner?
Very interested. Very recently very interested.
Yeah. Most of the house is closed for cleaning, but a few rooms are open. I shouldn't let you probably, but if it is only you, you are alone, aren't you?
Endlessly.
Come in and look over.
That's very generous. What do I owe you?
Georg Immerding. It's only a few displays. Besides, I wouldn't be much of a shining knight if I charged you.
Thanks, Georg. My name is Grace.
Hello. Have a good time.
Okay, that was easier. There's a room. Where did we actually came in? Probably from here. Let's check this.
Wagner's piano. On this piano, the maestro composed his later operas, including The Ring.
The Japanese horror movie? I doubt it. Well, no, obviously not. I am not allowed to play that. Oh, Liszt.
Franz Liszt, composer and Cosima Wagner's father.
Yeah, butchering names.
Richard Wagner. Richard Wagner.
Is that a... That looks like a beard. What odd style. So let's go here. Sofa.
An old sofa.
Quite old, yes.
The death of Wagner. On Ash Wednesday, 1883, Wagner suffered a heart attack in a Venetian gondola on the way to San Michele. His wife and the gondolier carried him into a church where he regained consciousness. Wagner died 4 days later on this sofa.
That explains the sofa, yes.
Wagner's desk, exactly as it was on the day he died.
Huh.
It's a letter from a Monsieur Beaujolais, dated September 1881. Looks like he's discussing acoustics and sound waves, and crystals. Wasn't Wagner's Bayreuth Theater already built? Why would Wagner be worrying about acoustics? It looks like an architectural drawing of a theater, the Wittelsbacher Theater, München. Every square inch is measured. It looks like an
Okay, can I make a note of this? No. I'm still always a little miffed when to use the notebook, but because I do think this is important for later. But death mask.
Wagner's death mask.
Yes, and his hand. So.
The great patron himself.
Yes.
Ludwig as the classical Greek hero.
So we have some mementos of Ludwig also.
A portrait given as a gift from Ludwig to Wagner.
June 10th, 1881, Munich residence. Great friend. I am writing to you in the middle of the night. My blood is pounding too wildly for sleep. Tonight's performance, how can I describe it? I am unsure whether to be terrified or thrilled. Perhaps I even feel hopeful. If it is hope, you have given it to me, my friend, for the first time in years. We must speak. Something happened during the music tonight, but I must have your absolute confidence. As you love me, come at once. Your devoted king, Ludwig.
So mysterious things. So many mysterious things, yes.
July 1882. Great and beloved king, Monsieur Beaujolais and I have finished the diagram. We checked the figures many times and Monsieur is confident that it will work. 8 identical fixtures are to be made from the diagram and placed in the theater exactly as specified. I'm sending the diagram with your courier. Be full of hope and have courage. All will be well. Your own, Wagner.
So they had some kind of a plan for something, which included diagrams and crystals and acoustics.
Ludwig's death mask.
Oh, we have one in here also. Okay. Nothing over there.
These look like production designs. These look like...
Right. Are these the...
These look like production designs.
Right.
Opera costumes. Opera costumes.
They indeed are. And this is the...
This must be a model of Wagner's own theater, here in Bayreuth.
Yes. So... I do have vague recollection that we actually go there at some point. Did I came from there? I think I... Yes, I did. So... No. Oh, it goes around. So I think I have been everywhere for now.
Wagner souvenirs. Don't think I need any of those.
Okay, let's talk to him.
What are you doing here if the museum is closed?
They always like to have a caretaker here. It's a good job for me. I can soak in the atmosphere of the maestro while I compose.
What are you composing?
This? Oh, a new arrangement. One of Wagner's pieces.
For the Bayreuth Opera?
No. I am only a student at the university. I study music, composition, conducting.
Why do I have a feeling we need his expertise at some point? Anyways.
Is there much of a call for conductors in Europe?
Ask my brother. He is the conductor for the Munich Opera.
Well, that's convenient. Does that mean you get free opera tickets?
Yes. I get a week's pass to the Opernfestspiele, the opera festival in Munich. It starts in a few months.
Hope I'm still around to see it.
Come with me if you like. If you're still around, I can go backstage and all sorts of things.
I'd love that. If I'm still in Germany, I'll call you, all right?
Yeah, good.
Wagner?
Tell me about Wagner.
He was a character. He spent most of his life trying to convince rich patrons to subsidize his work. Unfortunately, he had expensive tastes. You see, he believed that someone of his genius deserved to live well. Can't argue with that.
But Ludwig II supported him, didn't he?
Yeah, sure, but Ludwig came along very late in Wagner's life. By then, he had already been run out of Venice and most major cities because of debt. Ludwig saved him. And the music. Best thing Ludwig ever did.
Interesting point of view. So, the letter.
Do you know anything about that letter from Wagner to Ludwig in the display case? The one about the diagram?
Ah, no. Some sort of equipment for Ludwig's theater. But I don't know why Wagner would have cared about this. If he was worried about any theater, you would think it would have been his own theater, here, in Bayreuth.
Oh, I mean, well, we are probably not going to Bayreuth building. So...
Have you ever heard about the letter that Ludwig wrote to the Munich conductor in 1882 telling him to prepare for a new Wagner opera?
You're full of surprises for an American.
What do you know about it?
No one knows anything about it. It's like a treasure map, you know? It's probably a complete fairy tale, but it does make you wonder.
You have no idea what it could have referred to? Maybe something that Wagner was working on with Ludwig?
If there was, there's no trace of it. Except perhaps in the dreams of unemployed music students.
So, well, no help for the moment, but there are a few things we probably need later date, so we might as well leave. Oh, we are actually leaving from there then. And let's go see that demonologist. Or what was it? And ask a few questions about our nightmare. Wait, what? They are not here then. Where they are?
Herr Huber?
Yes?
The Smiths.
Are the Smiths in their room?
Yeah, I believe so.
Could you ask them to come down, please?
Oh, yeah, natürlich.
Now you just tell Merle what's going on.
Well, this should be interesting. Ludwig dream. So it was Ludwig, not the Glover. They look quite similar.
I had a dream last night. I didn't remember it at first, but I saw something today at one of the museums.
What was the dream?
I was being chased in the woods by wolves. And I saw a sleigh. Ludwig was inside. He pulled me up, and I thought I was safe. But then he turned into a wolf.
So what do you think, Mother?
A dream of rescue is a spiritual guide dream. The High Priestess in Gabriel's cards must be linked to Ludwig somehow.
What do the wolves represent?
I'm a psychic, dear, not Freud. But the warning I got was about the black wolf, wasn't it? And the wolves in the dream. It must be the same danger.
It's so frustrating. The more I find out, the more questions I have.
Why don't you try a little communicating of your own? Ludwig's the link. Appeal to him. The answers may not come right away, but at least you'll give the guide something specific to say the next time she contacts you.
Isn't there any way that you could, you know, do a psychic reading on Ludwig or something?
To tell you the truth, I've been trying all day to make contact, but I only feel great despair. Ludwig's soul is not at peace.
I'd better go.
Anytime you need us, stop by.
And be careful now.
Thanks.
More questions indeed. Okay. I'll check if we can actually do something with the flower, but I'm guessing not.
I wonder what kind of flowers these are.
Yeah, we can't do anything just yet. So, Neuschwanstein it is next.
At least I have the...
Oh, yeah, I need to use the keys. Right here. Nice. Tour tape? Oh, wait, what happened? Nothing. Okay, so I thought I missed something, but no. Let's...
I don't think the guards want to be bothered while on duty. These scenes seem to tell a story, but I have no idea what story.
Well, let's play the tape then.
The paintings in this room are from the Siegfried saga.
These scenes are from the Siegfried saga.
Yes, apparently they are. So we have door here. Can I open that? Did I miss something because I clicked the castle? I don't think I did.
The closed door leads to the tower, which is not part of the tour. The king was making his way to this very door when he was arrested in 1886.
Why?
I wonder if Ludwig really meant to throw himself from the tower the night he was arrested.
Oh.
These scenes seem to tell us...
Okay.
The paintings in this room are from the Siegfried saga.
These...
I love that helmet. You can see that bird over there. I want a bird helmet myself. So let's move on.
You are now standing in the king's bedroom. The theme of the bedroom is Tristan and Isolde, the tragic love story retold in Wagner's opera. The opera was given its first performance in Munich in 1865, and a 20-year-old Ludwig attended. This is probably the most elaborate and expensive bedroom ever created. It took 14 woodcarvers 4.5 years to create this room. It was this kind of extravagance that bankrupted the king. In the years before his death, he found it increasingly difficult to find money from any source.
I would imagine so.
Did they have running water in 1886?
The richly carved bed, with its canopy, resembles a Gothic building and its turrets. The bed's draperies were handmade by dozens of Bavarian seamstresses.
I want this kind of bed.
Maybe Ludwig thought all this luxury would help him sleep. Maybe Ludwig...
Maybe, or he just liked nice things.
Scenes from the opera Tristan and Isolde.
Of course, these are real places, but I think some of the paintings have changed and things changed, obviously, to accommodate the game's needs.
Scenes from the opera Tristan and Isolde.
But unfortunately, I can't say which ones. So we have two exits, one on the right, one on the left. Let's go to the left first.
This is the king's living room. The walls are decorated with scenes from the Lohengrin saga. The king first saw Wagner's opera Lohengrin when he was 16, and it so affected him that he considered it a form of enlightenment. The tragedy of Lohengrin was his essential loneliness. This too was Ludwig's own fate. Ludwig withdrew more and more into his fantasy world of epic heroes and absolute monarchy, an ideal he was determined to create in his castles if he could not have it in his real life. He only wanted to be alone with his dreams, so much so that even his servants were kept at a distance and were not allowed to look at him.
What were you afraid they'd see?
Oh, sorry. Maybe a wolf? Oh, hello.
I don't think the guards want to be bothered while on duty.
Fine. Nothing to interact with there. Oh, there's an exit, okay. Let's check.
These linens look seriously expensive and seriously old.
Well, they probably should be old. Unless they're forgeries. Is that something important to know, that the guards might be off for a while? Because it started to... yeah.
These linens look...
So maybe we have to do something here that is not allowed. Oh, well, that is not allowed. Or maybe I'm overthinking. I would like to see the painting, thank you.
The Miracle of the Grail.
A grail. We will be... well, in Gabriel Knight III there is part of thing... Gabriel Knight III is connected with the grail. I can't even speak today. To be honest, I haven't been able to speak lately.
These linens look...
at all. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on. Oh, we need to wait her to leave before we can move.
The swan motif is featured throughout the castle, but it is particularly prominent in this room. Both the swan and the lily were symbols Ludwig associated with himself. They represented his ideals of majesty and purity. The painting behind the swan shows Lohengrin's arrival.
That explains the Gabriel Knight's dream swan attacked by a black wolf. It's starting to make sense a little bit.
More swans.
Yes. Everybody loves swans, so we can go ooh.
This is a reproduction of the grotto from the Tannhäuser saga. In such places, Ludwig could pretend he was one of his beloved mythic heroes. As the grotto personifies, the castles were solitary playgrounds built for Ludwig alone. He believed the masses were too coarse to appreciate fine art, and he seldom entertained guests. In fact, Ludwig had a standing order that upon his death, the castles were to be destroyed. Fortunately, the estate was in such debt that the castles were opened for paying tours only weeks after Ludwig's death. They haven't closed since. It is one of the great ironies of Ludwig's story that the castles that he was thought insane for building are now considered Bavaria's finest treasures. They have paid for their construction many times over.
If that's true that he wanted these to be destroyed, well, we have to be grateful that it never happened. I don't know if that's true, but to be honest, I could see that as a truth.
I can almost picture Ludwig in here. I wonder what he really dreamt about in this room.
Okay, it's quite green.
This is the king's study. Ludwig spent much time at his desk writing letters, drawing up plans for his projects, and studying his favorite authors. He loved poetry, history, and the classics. In later years, he also studied the occult. What affairs of state he did reluctantly attend to were generally attended to alone at his desk in writing. His reluctance to meet with his heads of state and perform the duties of the king were one of the reasons for the charges brought against him in 1886. But Ludwig dreamt of true kingship and a true monarchy, and the small powers left to him after Bavaria's succeeded power to Prussia only incited his disdain and frustration.
Absolute monarchy, okay. Oh, okay, now I can interact with.
The study paintings depict scenes from the Tannhäuser saga and the Wartburg castle.
What is this then?
The study paintings depict scenes from the
Okay, so these are Tannhäuser.
I doubt there's anything left in there now. Besides, the guard would kill me if I touched it.
Well, I don't think he would kill you, but she would probably stop.
I wonder why he was studying the occult before he died.
I'm sure we will find out.
I wonder why.
Anything else? Oh, we have this painting here.
The study paintings
Oh, it's still Tannhäuser. I wait her to leave and see if I can interact with that at all. Shoot, go away. Please. Or do I need to leave and enter and hope she's not in here? Let's try that. Oh, that's a lovely place. No. It seems like she's not leaving. So let's go here. And what is this room? Quite magnificent and extravagant.
This is the final room of our tour, the Singers' Hall. It was modeled after the Singers' Hall of the Wartburg Castle, where minstrel competitions were held in the 13th century. The hall was built for small private concerts, but Ludwig himself never gave one here. It is said that during the last few years of Wagner's life, he came to Neuschwanstein frequently and performed for the king alone in this room. The hall is probably best known for its enigmatic wolf paintings. The original paintings were from the Parsifal saga, but in 1882, Ludwig had them replaced, supplying the description and titles of the new paintings himself. While all the other rooms in the castle show scenes from Wagner's operas, the scenes in this room are not from any opera that anyone can identify. It is yet another of the many mysteries associated with the life of the fairy tale king.
So this is definitely connected to our story. So wolf pictures.
Engelhard courts Hildegunde.
Yes, I can see that, yes.
The hunters track down Engelhard and Hildegunde.
Nice mane on the horse. You're a wizard, Harry.
Engelhard and the blacksmith.
Oh, blacksmith, okay. There's a door. I can check these, but they're interactable, but I can't. Ah, there's the wolf.
There must be a story behind these wolf paintings. But what story?
Okay, this is just one huge wolf painting, which definitely looks really nice. We can exit on the here, right and left. What's on the left then?
Hildegunde's imprisonment.
Again, a wolf there, but maybe connected to our story or not. Again, something like...
The wedding feast of Hildegunde and the Baron.
Bloody Baron. Probably not. Nice view.
Ludwig's childhood castle, Hohenschwangau, is visible from the lookout in the Singers' Hall.
Nice view of the Alps.
I'll have to agree, yes.
Nice view.
So nothing in here. We can... Some I do have a vague memory that we need to do something in here.
I don't think the guards want to be bothered while on duty.
But I could be totally wrong. So I'm gonna go... Where will this... we haven't been here, okay?
This is Ludwig's private chapel. The king was a devout Catholic, as were all of the Wittelsbacher rulers. They supported the Roman Church even when other European countries were dominated by Protestantism.
It's a beautiful crucifix. Ivory and gold.
Probably heavy then.
It's a beautiful...
If it's full ivory and gold.
A king saint? I wonder if Ludwig pictured himself that way, or maybe he just wanted to be that way.
The paintings above the altar depict St. Louis surrounded by the seraphim. An interesting side note. For a period of about a year, the Louis images in all three castles were ordered to be covered up with black cloth on the unfathomable whim of the king.
I would like to know if that's actually a true story or is it made up story for the game.
The Black Madonna of Altadine. I wonder what her story is all about. The Black...
Okay.
The stained glass window depicts St. Louis receiving the last sacraments.
So I think we're done in here.
These linens look
I can't do anything else. The swan.
More swans.
Yes, more swans.
I can almost...
I'll try to see if there's anything I can interact with.
I can almost...
But it seems there is not. Maybe if I go... No. Let's go a little bit back. I came from here. So if I wait, the card will probably come in the grotto. I think it's the same card that's in the office. Or I probably could be wrong about it. I'll wait for a little while if something happens. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, nothing happens at the moment. So we might as well move on. There's a door I cannot interact with. Something over here, but no, can't do anything. I can go here. Okay. Here. This is the other side. Is this the same? Well, yes. So, do I need to... Sorry, a little dry throat. I'll go back to the Rittersberg and... Oh!
Hi, did you have a good time?
Anything new?
Yes, you had a phone call.
Really?
A man named Professor Barkley. He said you had his number.
I do. Thanks.
Oh right, I had totally forgotten that one. So let's go and call him. I'll probably end this episode after that. Because I'm almost certain that we have to go to the few of the places again. So it definitely will take...
I'm not sure what other case books would...
No. Just go to the phone. Okay. So... Ticket. Barclays card. Interesting to hear what he has to say.
Hello?
Hi, Professor Barkley. It's Grace.
Oh, good. I have a name for you. It's Herr Josef Dahlmeier, and he specializes in Bavarian history, and I think he's somewhere near you are.
Herr Josef Dahlmeier. Great, got a number?
Yeah, I do. It's 4982-555-2234.
Thanks a lot. Sorry about the bother.
That's no bother. When are you coming back to school, Gracie?
When I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Well, be good.
No, I'm the best. So, let's continue. I'll call to Dahlmeier and... see how this proceeds.
Hallo?
Hallo, sind Sie Herr Josef Dahlmeier?
Yeah, you must be Grace Nakimura, the American history student.
Yes.
I hear you're interested in Ludwig II.
Very.
Good. There's something I want to show you. Drive to Berg on Starnberger See. Meet me at the Memorial Chapel.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, wait. Was there anything you wanted me to look into before we meet?
Well, I was hoping you knew something about someone called the Black Wolf. He was a contemporary of Ludwig's. He lived in Prussia, I think, and he was well connected.
Never heard of him, but I'll check. See you there.
Thanks. Bye.
I'm tempted to go and see him before we end. Okay, let's do that. I want to know more. This is a definitely curious story. Yeah, I'm skipping these a little bit, so because we have already seen those quite a few times. So where do we need to go? Oh, right. Is that the place where Ludwig II died? Can we enter?
It's a memorial chapel.
Yes, quite magnificent.
It's a memorial.
So we are not entering the chapel. Moonwalking forward. You need more traction on your shoes. We can't enter there, so probably more on the left. Is that the place of death where Ludwig died? Or was
this
found?
This is where he died. You must be Grace. Herr Dahlmeier.
Hello.
Josef. I didn't mean to startle you. I wanted you to see it. I feel him here the most, you know, more than at the castle. So, what did you want to know?
Okay, let's go through with these.
Professor Barkley says your hobby is Ludwig.
Yes. He was the last real king that Bavaria had. As a Bavarian and a history buff, well, that's enough to hook me right there.
But there's more, right?
He was a romantic, you know. A dreamer. And he was misunderstood, maligned.
Sounds like you can relate.
Me? Hell, I have it easy. At least I live in the 1990s. And not every eye in the country is on me. But yes, I can relate.
Come on, it's already 1990s.
You know about Ludwig's diary, right?
Of course.
How can I get my hands on it?
I'm sorry. I have been trying myself for 5 years. They keep it locked up tight in the Royal Archives and they don't let it out. They must think it contains things that will hurt his image.
They won't let anyone see it, not ever?
Only one person outside of the government ever got to see it, a biographer, Sir Richmond Chapel. He had friends among the German royals, and they let him look at it.
Did you ever try to contact Chapel, pick his brain?
No, and I don't believe I never thought of that. If you do and you find out anything, you must share.
It's a promise.
Sharing is caring. So we need to contact him, but let's continue with Ludwig II. To be honest, I find it quite peculiar that they wouldn't allow the historian to have an access on the papers, but yes, again.
Tell me about Ludwig.
I don't know where to start. There's so much. Politically, the most significant thing about Ludwig II was that he signed over independent Bavarian statehood to Prussia in 1870. Bavaria became a part of United Germany, and Ludwig became a figurehead prince under the Prussian Kaiser.
Why do you think he did that?
Bavaria had been involved in the 100 Years' War. People were tired of fighting. Prussia's push to unite the German states made some amount of sense. Still, Ludwig must have had other options. At the very least, he should have negotiated better terms.
So what was the real reason?
He was manipulated by Bismarck. At least that's what I think, anyway.
The Iron Chancellor. Anyways.
What about Ludwig personally?
You'll find two perspectives on Ludwig. The view the tourists get is the romantic ideal, Ludwig the tormented loner. Then there is the historian's point of view. Ludwig was plagued with guilt over his sexual orientation and was driven mad with self-loathing.
But I take it you're not buying either point of view.
Well, it's all too convenient, isn't it? That he was a devout Catholic, there is no question, and I'm sure there were pressures on him to be normal. But he was no prude. He loved Byron. Yes. Philosophy, the French court. If anything, Ludwig was too much an egomaniac. He didn't give a damn what anyone thought. And besides, he didn't try to hide any of his relationships. If he suffered from anything in his romantic life, it was disillusionment. No one loved him back as purely as he himself loved.
Well, if it wasn't sexual guilt that tormented him, what was it?
I don't know. His diary was filled with self-guilt, but I'm sure it's not about that. If I knew, I'd write my own book, set the record straight, so to speak.
A tragic character. So, what about the midnight sleigh rides?
Have you read anything about Ludwig's midnight sleigh rides?
Oh, would that have been something? To be out at night and suddenly see him sweep by with his entourage? They say the night agitated Ludwig, and that being outdoors and the rushing feeling of the sleigh calmed him down. Sometimes even the sleigh wasn't enough. He would stop in some remote woods, order his servants to stay put, and go wandering off by himself for hours. It drove the servants crazy.
I bet it did. So, what about Bismarck?
Tell me about Bismarck.
Oh, Bismarck. He was the Prussian Kaiser's chancellor. Not a nice man. Bismarck had a reputation for learning people's weaknesses and manipulating them. It's a matter of record that he had spies on Ludwig's staff. He may even have had a henchman even closer to the king. And he was involved in the conspiracy to declare Ludwig insane.
Busy man. Achieved quite a lot. Black Wolf.
Did you find out anything about the Black Wolf?
I did. I'd read about him before, but I hadn't realized that was who you were talking about. His name was Godin, Paul Godin. I found a reference to his being called the Black Wolf after you telephoned.
I've never heard of him. Who was he?
Godin lived on the fringes of the Prussian court. He was handsome, charming, dangerous, or so they say. He was variously rumored to have been a foreign prince, a Prussian spy, even an assassin. Since you were interested in him, I found out some things that are probably true. It said he came from abroad in the mid-1800s, but claimed high German blood.
Do you know where he came from?
No. And he was ruthlessly ambitious. He probably found out who held the power, Bismarck, and offered his services. Bismarck was a good judge of talent, of that sort anyway.
Profile of a person sounds oddly familiar. It seems like we have met a similar character. Anyways, anything else about the Black Wolf?
What else do you know about Godin?
He must have done something remarkable. Bismarck was not a generous man. He liked to string people along with promises, but rarely came through. He did for Godin, though. He gave him a royal title and lands in 1863. And that was the last reference I found to him.
Well, how could he just disappear?
It's not that unusual. Back then, when you were given a title, you usually changed your name and moved to a place where no one knew your past, so you could act with impunity. Or be a pompous ass and get away with it.
Right. More?
Is there any way to find out what Godin was called after he got his title?
Is it that critical?
It might be.
Well, you could send away for a copy of the entitlement deed, assuming it has been destroyed during one of the wars. Godin's new name would be on it. But you would need a research permit from the government to access those records, and they can be very hard to get. A lot of red tape.
Great.
I can already guess the name, but anyways, let's go. Oh, right, the hunting accident. That.
What do you know about Ludwig's hunting accident?
A couple of years ago, I was introduced to this great old man, a real old world farmer. Well, his grandfather was Richard Horning, Ludwig's equestrian. Oh, he told some great Ludwig stories. Sometimes I get lucky. Anyway, he said that after the hunting accident, Ludwig got terribly ill, that he had a fever and was acting crazy. They were afraid that the wolf had been carrying a disease or that the bite had gone septic.
A wolf bit him?
Yeah, it's not so unusual. There were a lot of wolves in the Alps back then. The servants were really worried, but Ludwig recovered, physically anyway. Horning's grandfather said it was the fever that broke Ludwig's mind, that he was worse than ever after that.
I don't think it was the fever. So...
What do you mean Ludwig got worse after the accident?
Ludwig always had been a very private person. But after the accident, he got darker, more crazy. Towards the end, he was even forcing his servants to enter his chambers bent over so they couldn't see his face. Horning's grandfather said his temper was fearsome. He would fly into a rage at the least mistake.
Must have been terrified of him.
Yes, well... Horning's grandfather felt sorry for Ludwig, and Ludwig hated his own violence. He was always giving gifts to his servants to apologize.
He went crazier than usual. So, about Seven's fears.
You mentioned that there were other reasons why Ludwig's servants feared him.
Ah, that's another of Horning's mysteries. There's a story about Neuschwanstein. Apparently, there was a period of time of 2 or 3 months when Wagner would come and visit him
Wagner?
there. Yeah. The two would lock themselves in the Singers' Hall. Horning's grandfather said the sounds that came from there were awful. Well, the servants had superstitious minds anyway. Some of them quit over it, just walked away.
What kind of sounds?
Horning's grandfather called them heartbreaking and ungodly. Maybe it was Wagner trying to sing.
Well, I guess that's all for now. Thanks for your help.
It's my pleasure. And if you ever want to talk again, just give me a call. I'll meet you down.
I will. Thanks.
Servus.
Well, bye.
Well, that was interesting. Ludwig König von Bayern.
This is where they found Ludwig's body. This is where they...
Now I think I remember one thing what I need to do here. I might be wrong, but I don't think Grace can do it just yet. Alright, we probably need to end this episode right now because it's getting quite long again. And I'm almost certain there will be more to uncover before we can end this chapter. At least I have that feeling, because we need to ask about the permissions for the diaries. Probably try to contact the writer of the Ludwig's. Do we have the book? Is there there's a number. So we probably need to contact there, so we can contact Richmond Chapel. We have quite a lot of other things to do. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time. Until then, goodbye.